Hello, everyone. No, I haven't eaten Pierre. He's not dwelling in my brain cavity or anything like that. It's more that we took such a long break from the Big Wet. I thought it was unfair to make Pierre relearn the promo stuff. So I'll do the promo stuff, and then we'll bring everyone on, right? Hi, welcome to the Big Wet. This is a mini-series we started back in July. Quite a while ago, but because of various life things, we've had to put it on hold until now. But here we are to finish it off. Probably not going to be a big long thing. I think it's fair to say, but you will get the conclusion to the storyline that we started back in July. If you're just tuning in now and want to kind of catch up, it's there. The first two episodes are both on YouTube. Speaking of which, promo stuff. Links down below. YouTube, Twitch, you know the deal. There's also links to our social media, to our Discord, to our Patreon, to our merch store, all those lovely things. We're running 3 weekly campaign nights at the moment. Mondays is Warhammer, which Sam has just started back up. Wednesdays is, of course, Simbaroom, coming to the end of a big arc there. And Thursdays is alternating between this, the Big Wet, and Wicked Ones, also run by Sam. They're kind of alternating until they both finish, basically. We also do one-shots on a monthly basis. The next one of those is going to be Troika, which will be a week on Saturday from now, so the 27th of January, Saturday, the 27th of January. Join us for that. It'll be quite a special one, and we're not telling you why just yet. So live in fear and confusion, I guess. Okay, with that in mind, Pierre's the important person on this. Because as a regular GM, I do think GMs are the most important person. So,
Yes.
So there we go. Hi, Pierre.
Hi.
Hello.
I just like to say that Matt was entirely lying. I was, right up until this moment, inhabiting Matt's skull cavity, and I just crawled out and emerged to his left.
Infosec, Pierre, infosec.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. This isn't like camera trickery. This is all in camera.
This is in camera. Yeah, there is a weird paper thin grey and black wall dividing us. Just here. Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to do any intro, Pierre, or shall I just talk about my character a bit, or what do you want?
It's been a while. Yeah, sure. If you describe for us a little of what Isaac is like, what he's about, how he's feeling, all of these sorts of things.
Sure. Well, Isaac, as we all are, is a kind of survivor in a sort of post-apocalyptic flooded world. He's on a mission, which I'm sure Pierre will describe in a little bit. And I have a thing I wrote down for Isaac. So because I'm lazy, I'm just going to read that. Because it's been long enough since people heard it, I think. So it's fine. Isaac mostly keeps to himself. He's tall, gaunt, and quiet. Occasionally talks about his past as an emergency medical technician dispassionately. He's known for his handy medical expertise, as well as the speed with which he will resort to intimidation or lethal and unnervingly calm violence if necessary. It's unclear whether he's always been this way or whether the Big Wet has made him so clinically merciless. But stay on his good side, and he will devote himself to teamwork with a focused intensity. And I believe I mentioned as well. Yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna learn about that in the recap, I'm sure, and in the immediate aftermath of us being in the first scene. I cast people whenever I play a character. I often cast someone in my head just to visualize as them. And in my head, Isaac is played by the late lamented Lance Reddick, who died a couple of years ago now. Yeah, that's it.
Indeed.
It's a Chris.
Chris. Hello, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
And how is Fredo doing? And what is Fredo all about?
Fredo's doing fine. Fredo is a fairly happy-go-lucky fellow who's very much likes contributing and doing the teamwork. If you sit him down and get him drunk, he will tell you exactly why the Big Wet happened, because he used to be an academic, a climatologist, and is quite bitter about it. But in the immediate aftermath of the collapse of society, he, just having well prepared himself, took up a trade as basically a bank robber of sorts.
It's a natural progression.
robbing supplies from the rich's bunkers and giving to the nascent communities. And he's also a pretty good climber, which has come in handy.
Indeed, it has. And with that, shall we bring on Sam, who plays Alice? Hello. Sam.
Yeah, hello.
How are you? And who and how is Alice?
I'm all right, and Alice is probably less all right. Alice is she was a labourer. She was actually worked in she was a merchant seaman basically. She worked in trades and shipping and on docks and all sorts, sailing around the world. She's quite a short, muscular, stout woman of East Asian heritage. She actually looks impatient and frustrated. She says things like, "Can't rely on anyone but myself." She's wearing stained fishing overalls that were once yellow, but definitely are not now. She's also got a very bleached, so it's not dark green anymore, but it would have been dark green originally, beanie that she always wears, which is full of holes. And she's been having a bit of a rough time. She got separated from the group quite a while ago, and then tried to make her way. Well, she managed to escape what was going on down below, and then escape another guy who she was like kind of moving up into the safe area with, and then basically just ran around for a while, having no idea where she was going, and eventually found her way to a lift shaft and managed to climb up there and happen upon the rest of the group. How lucky was that?
Oh, it was so lucky. And finally, shall we get Jack in here? Hello. How is the Jack and how is the Hank?
The Jack's good. The Hank is
Jack. I was going to say, and how is the Jank? But...
Well, the Hank part of the Jank is, yeah, I mean, out of the group, I think he's doing okay. To remember,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of attitude does Hank take to the world as a janitor and
I mean, it's a lot hard. Is it a lot harder to clean things? I suppose it is. If you've got water everywhere, it's harder to clean things, I guess.
It's the water damage that fucks you.
Yeah, exactly. That Hank will tell you that. But yeah, he's generally doing okay on this little mission with everyone else. But yeah, well, as you said, he's a former janitor, school custodian, who I picture looking like Bill from Left 4 Dead. Sort of older guy, but yeah, generally friendly. Almost, I guess the face of the group. I think he's been used as in this, or at least for Isaac. He's been the bedside manner of the when we were doing the little medical bit, pop-up shop for a med.
If I remember correctly, your role was look friendly and hold a gun.
It's a valuable skill in everyday life. Yeah, certainly in this pretty harrowing world, it's always good to maintain a positive disposition.
And also a gun.
Because bullets are in short supply. In fact, they are currency. So I'll just do a quick recap of overall the mission that these guys are on is that there has been a contract put out to get a helicopter that exists at the top of Lustrum Tower. However, there is an unfortunate situation where the keys to this helicopter are in a sub-basement, submerged beneath the waters, and the code for that is somewhere in one of the penthouses. Last session, you guys, as Sam alluded to, you were split up with the main group heading up through an abandoned elevator shaft, while Alice went through the tower proper and caused quite a bit of chaos. There was nearly some friendly fire, which Alice skipped over a little bit, where she attempted to open the elevator, and the guys on the other side did not know who was doing that. But luckily, Isaac did not end up stabbing Alice in a fatal way. So everyone came out of that relatively unscathed. I was seriously worried that we were going to have our player death halfway through the mission.
The player.
Yeah, it would have been interesting, but yeah, we'll save that for another one shot.
If I remember correctly, didn't Matt actually attempt and fail the roll? That was how I managed to live. Yeah.
Yeah, it was luck that was on your side.
Good job. It's hard to stand people in this system.
Yeah. And yeah, then they made their way together higher up. I'm sure Alice was feeling like so relieved to be with the rest of her crew at that point, and eventually began searching these penthouses where this code for the vault was supposed to be. It was on floor 63 that they found a man who was gut shot, although it seemed like it might be a trap. There wasn't any evidence of other people, but the man was clearly dying. And in exchange for some water and eventually some morphine, the man gave away the location of the code. He said it was on the laptop. And it was on the floor.
Did you say the next floor above?
It was on the floor above, so floor 64. Was the location he described. He was also saying that there was someone who had shot him up there potentially.
But he seemed to say that was the only person. But...
Yes, he didn't say you asked specifically if there was any sort of security, and he was like, well, there was the guy who shot me. That was all he said. And actually, I should clarify, it wasn't strictly in exchange for morphine. The morphine was offered after as a sort of mercy. And actually,
the morphine was an amount which was too much or just enough, depending on your point of view.
Yes. And because that was quite a sort of so Isaac administered this in a sort of, fairly cold manner. But because this is quite a sort of stressful thing, I was saying that now your character, each of you, I want to decide to add a certain amount of wet between 0 and 3. Because wet is not just like a physical how drenched you are. It is also, like, in this system, supposed to be a kind of psychological weighing down. So if things are difficult, that adds to your score and makes rolling more difficult. And you need to spend time to recover. So basically, each of you can decide how much, based on what you feel like your characters are like, to add between 0 and 3.
Predictably, I have already declared that Isaac took 0 wet from this.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take...
probably tells you a fair bit about Isaac.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take 2. I think this is fairly disturbing. And I think actually Isaac's way of doing it and actions make it more disturbing for me. I think that's probably... I would be like a 1, but your total coldness and that's...
Yeah. Although it is to be noted that the man did seem at least somewhat grateful for...
it was the right decision. It was just how calm and ordinary it was for him.
Indeed. Okay, so this man is dead in front of you. You are on the 63rd floor. What do you do?
Isaac's probably packing up the empty morphine syringe because he's not leaving a syringe here. So he's probably busy while you guys decide.
I will probably quite quickly go, come on, let's go. There's nothing else for us here.
So that's it. We're just, moving on from Isaac just killed a guy.
Jesus Christ. Let's get this done. For God's sake, I want to go home.
If it makes you feel better, think of it as palliative care.
Yeah. I think I'll feel better later if that's okay with everyone else. Come on.
Yeah, I don't feel like feeling better right now. Maybe it is best we just get on with it.
Okay, there are some there's like a set of stairs that seems to be at the exit of this penthouse, and you can go up those if you fancy.
I will cautiously lead the way, since it sounds like I was kind of making moves first, knowing that the guy said there's someone there listening and watching.
Okay, and I just want a sort of general approach to this, to exploring this penthouse. Like, you've been told that probably this is where the codes are, and also potentially someone. So how are you approaching searching for this laptop?
I guess first of all, I would be at the front, just moving slowly and listening and looking around to see if there's anyone there. If that's not apparent, then searching would be next. I'd let everyone know I haven't noticed anyone. Is that what happens?
Okay.
I'd have to assume that Hank would be near the front, being as he's the one with the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
have a revolver as well, which I've got out at this point.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's say Alice.
The march in order, sort of thing.
So are we saying Alice and then Hank, and then kind of Fredo and Isaac at the back? Yeah. Okay. Alice and Hank, can you roll some? I think this would be brains.
Yeah, didn't we determine that, like, weirdly the game kind of doesn't acknowledge what sort of where kind of awareness rolls fit in?
Because it could be nerves or brains, depending how you define it, kind of, couldn't it?
Yeah, although nerves, yeah.
Either way,
I think if you're looking, I think if you're being surprised by something, it's nerves. But if you're actively looking for something, it's brains.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah. Decision or not.
Yeah, if you need to suddenly react to something, that will be nerves. But so let me know if you succeed on your.
So now what we're aiming to do is roll under our score, but over our wet.
Yep, you roll 2d10 and you want to, or a d100 and roll under your score.
So I have 6 wet and my brain is 44. So maybe between those two numbers.
Yeah.
77 is not between those numbers.
Okay. Well then, you proceed through the penthouse, and aside from the kind of occasional like rustling of papers by the wind, you don't really see anything. And it takes you quite.
Was Hank rolling too?
I think Hank failed.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay, so it takes you quite a while, and you it's tough going, and you don't immediately you sort of get a bit lost, because this penthouse is quite labyrinthine, or like weirdly designed, but you do eventually you come to a sort of a side room, where like on your left it's quite long, looks like it was like maybe a study or something, and on your left there's like a kind of a somewhat it's just a wall, and on your right is like the outer is the windows to the outside of your the outside of Lustrum Tower. So the windows are like floor to ceiling, but they've been mostly boarded up, apart from a couple of windows right at the end. They look like they've had their boards removed, and right at the end of this kind of longer room, it's relatively dark and shadowed because of the boarded up walls. But right at the end, there's like a sort of pool of light. It's not sunny outside, but it is lighter than in the rest. And you can see there is a man on his back on the floor, and in front of him, sort of facing the window, is a desk with a laptop on it. The man is not moving. What do you do?
Was the awareness roll for like different things, and should me and Fredo have got a roll as well?
The awareness roll was for like finding additional, noticing any peculiarities initially, but
you don't want to ever roll it, to be fair.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a separate area. So
well,
if
before we roll it, someone's guaranteed to
are we walking through it with our eyes closed? Just because you got guns, it doesn't mean you're more aware.
Yeah. No, just for now, like let's just say that those two were the role for the group. You guys were distracted by rats. I don't know. No, we'll just.
I love it. Just poking at them. I will. Presuming I'm the first person there, I'll just turn to everyone else and kind of whisper. There's someone there. I don't know. They might be alive or dead, but the laptop's there.
Can we see much detail about the person / hopefully body?
As you look closer, you can see a little bit of crimson on the floor by his head, and he's like, depending on how long you're looking at him for, he's holding relatively still, although he's 20 feet away. Do you want to approach? Do you want to just try and see other things in this room or anything like that?
I'm going to pick up a bit of rubble thing and try and throw it at the guy.
Okay, you can do that. You throw the rubble at the guy, and it sort of crunches into his leg. He doesn't respond or move.
Okay.
Apart from,
I think he's dead.
Are we in the room or are we at the doorway?
You are at the doorway right now.
Behind the doorway.
You are at the doorway right now. So there could be people lurking behind the doorway. Are any of
go on.
Actually, Isaac, make a brains test for me. Is this general
medically
perception.
Related?
No, this isn't medically related.
Then I fail.
Okay. Well, you hear some wind blowing, but doesn't seem that remarkable.
Nothing to worry about at all.
Isaac is already worried that someone is outside the window. But yeah.
I feel like Alice is a
bit
strong-headed and has gone, oh, that guy's clearly not there. Let's assume there's no one else in the room. We'll probably just start stepping forward into the room. Still cautiously keeping an eye out. But...
Okay. So if you're being cautious, the room seems sort of in a bit of disarray. There's the boards that have been removed from the windows in those last two areas. If you're being relatively slow about this, you will hear a kind of high-pitched continuous whistling noise.
That's weird. Coming from outside the window?
Oh, in fact, coming from the window, if that's a thought that you're having.
As soon as I hear a weird noise, I'm going to stop and try and figure out what it is and what's making the noise, I guess.
Okay. The window is almost entirely intact, but there is a small, radial shaped crack in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So maybe this guy got bashed into the window. Is the window about to smash open and shower me with glass?
Is the window about? I don't think if you can justify how you would know this.
It's a good.
Can I just ask if Alice said there's a small circular hole in the window? He must have fallen into the glass. So Isaac immediately correct Alice.
I meant someone bashed his head against the. Yeah, true, fair, good point.
He was shot through the window, Sam.
I think Alice might say that out loud and go and be corrected by Isaac. So wait, probably in character as well. That means someone outside the window was shooting in. I'll say fairly quietly back to you.
Is there broken
still
glass?
Be there?
I suppose I don't know how much there'd be really, but it's fairly obvious he was shot through the window rather than him randomly shooting out. We haven't.
If this occurs, when this occurs to you, I think you can actually look closer and see. Yeah, it does look like a bullet hole in the window.
I like that, Jack. Though that's some Poirot shit. Is the glass outside or inside?
Yeah. You're also if you kind of look through some of the cracks in the boards, you can kind of see that there is another skyscraper opposite the one that we currently.
That was going to be my next question. What could be where could that be from? Okay. And presumably this window would give a perfect view to this, and the laptop would give a perfect view to the skyscraper.
Yeah.
I will turn around and go, yeah, it's a trap or something. They can see it from over.
Yeah, I suggest none of us stand in front of that window. That seems.
Yeah. You can see who's the closest to the man.
I think it would be me if I've gone into the room, yeah.
Sorry, who?
Me if I'm in the room.
Okay.
I think it's still at the doorway for sure.
Anyone who's like somewhat close, give me a brains roll.
That's a success.
Okay. You notice that the man has like a kind of something in his hand, small and yellow, like a piece of paper or something, or a post-it.
Okay, that seems useful.
Could we pull? Could we grab his leg and pull him away from the view of the window without being in the view of the window?
Yeah.
You couldn't. You probably couldn't quite. It's not that far away, but you would expose yourself.
Probably like very briefly, right?
Yeah, very briefly if you rushed for it.
And the skyscraper's like over the other side of what used to be a road or something, right?
Yeah.
So, I think Alice has had this same thought and probably looks back at folks and goes, well, he's holding something in his hand. Maybe it's the code. If we get the body, that's...
Is the window floor to ceiling?
It is floor to ceiling. All the windows in this room are floor to ceiling, although obviously the ones in the immediate area are just boarded up.
Can one of you go back and have a look out of another window, see if you can see what's in that building or something?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll dip out and do that. I've done nothing else so far.
Be careful.
I'm guessing the range is 500 meters at the top end on my rifle. So would that have a scope hunting rifle?
If your range is 500 meters, I'd imagine it'd be scoped. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
And that scope should probably be. You could probably unscrew it and just peek if you wanted.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea than trying to peek around with a big old rifle.
Yeah. If you guys want to go and see if you can get a different angle and see if you can see anything.
Yeah, I mean, if we both go, or if Fredo wants to take the scope, while I still sort of cover Alice in the room just in case there's someone in the room.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Fredo will kind of gesture for the scope. Now, Pierre, you mentioned there were gaps in these boards. Is there going to be enough to do a little bit of a recce from inside the room?
Yeah, sure. Let's say yes. I think so.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that then. Kind of maybe. Yeah, no. Fredo's an ex-bank robber. He knows how to be surreptitious about this kind of thing. So he'll do it in such a way as to present basically no cross section to the sniper, but he'll kind of take a look out at the other side of the.
Okay.
Can I add an additional question to that? Mm-hmm. These spaces between the boards, how big? Like, would they be big enough to break the glass through them? Although it's skyscraper glass, so it's probably
from the shape of the bullet, or from the shape of the the impact mark, you do think it's probably some sort of reinforced thing.
Yeah, I mean, if the bullet's just left a little hole, it's probably not easily breakable.
That's why the whole window hasn't smashed in.
I was just thinking distraction thing, but it's
okay.
No, it wouldn't work.
Okay, so Fredo, you look through the scope. I think given that you're not under time pressure, you can scan like fairly consistently across the different floors until eventually you see what maybe would be you think quite a good place, like sort of inset from the window, and like maybe you see a hint of movement in that other building. So you're fairly sure the window that they would be shooting out of. You're not like the movement didn't come from that specific thing, but you think maybe there's like guards patrolling or someone else in that building. But you're like, there would be a good position, and it's
I'll get kind of the coordinates of that, like 3 from the top, 3 windows from the top, 5 from the right, or whatever, and I'll just kind of pass the scope back to Hank and kind of relay that information.
Yep.
I'll also look around. What kind of furniture do we have in here, and how flammable on a scale of 1 to this is a terrible idea is it?
Well, there's the boards, which are made of wood. Some of them are a bit wet, but some of them probably could be set on fire. There's some, because this was like a study, there are some books, there's some papers around, which maybe you could set fire to, which look relatively dry. Are you talking about like how flammable is the whole room?
No. I mean, what I'm really looking for is a very fluffy couch. But if there's no very fluffy couch, then I don't know.
You could maybe get one from another room. This was quite a luxury penthouse.
How big is this guy?
He's kind of maybe 6'1". He's quite built. He, like, you can see he has a knife on him. Maybe also has a gun. So, like, attached.
Okay. Isaac has reached the conclusion that he doesn't think anything particularly that we do is really going to make a difference in this. And he also thinks that even if someone is literally watching as a sniper, he doesn't think that anyone quickly ducking forwards and yanking this body back is realistically standing a chance of getting shot.
Alice agrees.
He's probably already kind of kneeling down and like eyeing up the distance between how long he has to leap forwards, and we'll look at Alice to see if she wants to also engage in it.
I will definitely help / lead on it.
Each grab a leg.
Yeah, okay. I have labor as well, which makes me.
So your plan is kind of you two are going to synchronize and both grab a leg and try and yank him back.
Hunch over, quickly lean forward, grab a leg each, and pull back. And the thing is, it's not even like we don't have to be in view for his entire body to come through. We only have to be in view until enough of his leg is pulled back that we can pull him the rest of the way. Not what they can shoot his body, I guess, but like not us.
That seems very reasonable. So I think this is probably nerves, because this is about acting quickly.
Whilst they're doing that, can I be looking through the scope at that building in case this sniper wants to take a shot? We can at least get an eye on where they might be.
Absolutely, that you can get in position to see where it's coming from, and potentially, if anything happens. Okay, so can I have a nerves roll from both of you?
Can I get a bonus for manual labor, being my background, my history?
Yeah, absolutely. Shifting things around.
Shifting corpses.
Possibly you can also get a bonus for medical, because you're like,
I
don't know, as an EMT, you probably have moved a few bodies, so
actually, I was thinking, oh, that's a fudge. But now you've actually said, well, you're used to moving people's bodies.
Specifically bodies.
No, that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So just to get it right, it's +10 if it's your like overall sphere of influence, right? And then +20 if it's your specific thing. So for me, EMT, that's my specific +20.
So mine is generic +10.
Yeah.
That's my wet score.
Oh, okay. And Isaac, how did you do? We'll see how.
I got it just fine.
I got a 5. Right. My wet is 6.
Okay.
It's going to
So-
happen eventually.
I think what this means is I'm just going to roll a die. Holy hell. Okay.
Don't say that. Don't say that, Pierre.
All right.
No.
So you both. So how do you do? Like go like 3, 2, 1, and you try and time it. Okay. So you count down. You both pretty much simultaneously lunge forward to grab a leg. But Alice, unfortunately, you didn't notice that there was like a piece of rubble sticking out, and so you like slightly trip. You manage to catch yourself, but like it gives like an extra, just a little bit of second where you're a bit more overexposed through the window, and you grab onto the leg and you pull back, and a bullet comes through the window. A second bullet comes through the window, and just like you feel the air it comes within inches of your face. This person must be a spectacular marksman because they reacted very quickly. I mean, Matt was absolutely right that like it would have to be a very, very good person, but because of the stumble, they just had like just enough time. But you remain unscathed. They rolled their exact number. Like they rolled just one lower, and they would have hit you. So
gosh.
it was as close as could have been. And yeah, Hank. In the meantime, because you're watching through the scope, you see that like there is like a flash and a crack from the other window, and you're absolutely sure it's in that thing. But the body is with you, and you see in his hand is a post-it note with like a bloody fingerprint on it. And the post-it note says 3 CCW 37, 2 CW 84, 1 CCW 19. And yeah, that's what you have.
I immediately flee from the room in total panic.
Okay, so Alice flees from the room. What do you do, Fredo?
Can I get a look at this code? Is that going to get shared with the group? So that's
I'm assuming that Isaac is the one with it.
Immediately eats the post-it note.
Isaac will happily hand it over to Fredo, and then with no particular rush, he's going to kind of hunch up, grab. I take it this guy's dead, by the way, like dead.
The guy has a shot clean through his forehead.
Right, yeah. And he's going to kind of drag the body out of the room, but not cautiously, rather than in any kind of rush.
Sure.
Kind of remaining kind of hunched over. And he's just going to drag them into the corridor.
Okay.
Kind of walking behind everyone else, looking at the code on the post-it note, be like, this doesn't look like a code. This looks like a coordinate bank or something.
You have you robbed banks before, Fredo?
No.
Okay, so you would probably identify the 3 CCW as being counterclockwise 3 times.
Oh, I see. Oh, no, wait. Oh my God, it's a rotary lock? Learned about these in school.
Yep.
How's that going to hook up underwater, under salt water?
Isaac is rinsing this body.
Okay. Are you? I guess you're like. Yeah, I mean, there was a knife on it. So if you want it, he also had on him. I think he had a rifle, I believe.
I mean, he'd have to have shot the other guy, right?
Yeah. Well, it was basically whether it was a rifle or it was a pistol. But yeah, it was a rifle.
Any bullets?
Yes. I should roll for that. It has. Sorry, let me do a double check. 15 bullets on him.
And anything else at all?
Well, since you're doing some like more elaborate searching,
a roll on like a thing or
yeah, I'm just having a look. Let's quicken 20.
stormy supplies. It's weird that they're not an actual. It's not a table, right? There's the die
There is
with
a
trinkets, but
yeah, there's I think actually it's reasonable to say that you found like he's wearing slightly like decent armor, like it's or it's like one or so he's got like a kind of thicker, like a maybe not bulletproof vest, but like something that could provide protection, certainly against knives potentially and other things like that, like slashing. So
what's that listed as on the thing?
on the random search table, it's a random piece of 30 of one armor, which means it's like a piece of armor that is one. And actually, I should probably roll a 1 in 3 chance that it's.
I've got mine
damaged.
down as heavy leather underlayer, which is just a 1 armor vest.
Yeah, so it would be similar to that.
So it's a 1 armor, yeah, like a 1 armor thing,
like
okay,
vest kind of thing or something. Or
okay. Isaac is going to kind of lean out and place the knife in the middle of everyone because he doesn't need it. He has a knife. He's going to glance over at Fredo and say, "How good a shot are you?"
How good a shot am I?
What do you generally
that's kind
roll
of
for
nerves,
shooting?
isn't it, for shooting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's nerves.
Yep.
It's Fredo's nerves.
Or is it lungs, I think, for melee.
Yeah.
My nerves is 53, so better than average. Fredo will be like, I can use a gun.
Isaac will roll the rifle and the bullets over towards you, and he'll start taking off his rain slicker to put on the vest.
While this is all going on, Alice is in the hallway just going, Jesus fucking Christ, no one should be able to shoot that fucking quick. Oh my life.
Hank will, I think seeing Alice sort of hurry out of the room in a panic, he will ask, are you okay? Well, these two are dealing with the job part of it.
Yes, I'm alive. No one should be able to shoot that fast. Less than a second, I swear we were visible. How was that even possible? I felt the wind of the damn bullet.
Yeah, they're a hell of a shot, so
we should probably get out of here. I bet they'll figure out a way of shooting us where we are here. Thankfully, they can't get to the tower at any rate.
Well, it doesn't really need to get to the tower, does it? I mean, it's weird that somebody's over there seemingly just watching this.
Well, it's for sure that they'll know what we're going for now, since there's only one thing that we're here, right?
Yeah, that. Well, we're obviously not the first to go for it, so.
As you're having this conversation, you can hear like the rain outside is starting to intensify against the windows, and the wind is picking up a little bit. I don't. Do any of you have any Geiger counters on you, or anything like that?
I do.
Okay, the radiation is just starting to tick up just a little bit. In the
and
way,
I'll go, and that's what we fucking need as well.
Well, hopefully the wind and the rain will help us out if he tries taking another shot at us.
Like visibility.
I was going to say, how long has it been since we last looked, and how wet is it? Like
how wet is it outside?
Like how wet? Like, do we have any? Is it damp enough in here to have wet increasing to any degree?
I don't think it is. I think it's been you haven't been dealing with this sort of sniper situation for particularly very long, and these windows are actually pretty well protected from the outside so far. So I don't think you've accumulated any wet from being in here. But I don't think it's been an hour yet. So you haven't yet lost 3 wet for it being dry for an hour. Especially
given that those folks are like taking a bit of time distributing things, I think I will, after my brief conversation with Hank, go, come on, we've got to get moving. They'll know we've done something up here now. They might get down there before us. We want to speed this along.
Yep. Okay. And you all head outwards. I assume that you're like in general trying to avoid windows that are facing that thing,
Yeah.
you will notice that as you go back, the route that you happened to take was relatively indoors. So if you just retrace your steps, you're actually great. Or it was on the other side of the building. So okay, you continue onwards. Yeah.
I was just thinking, I'll make a mental note about where the building is as best I can for the boat and getting away as well, just for relevance of they can't shoot us when we're in the boat.
Muted,
Matt, you are muted.
Hoist by my own petard. Do you think, like, I can't remember, you know when you come into the market and there's like the sort of quayside there that's been attached to like this, whatever it is, the 20th floor or whatever it is. Is that floor, that market floor, open on all sides of the skyscraper, or is it just opened up on that one side for people to dock their boats there?
I think it's opened up on two sides, so it's primarily one side, and then like there's another part of the skyscraper that's kind of a bit hollowed out. But actually, it's not. Yeah, it's not 360.
So the skyscraper from which the sniper was firing, are they looking at the docking at the dock?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Like, do they have a view over the dock?
If you have that thought, then yes, you will go, yeah, we came in a way that would have views of that second skyscraper.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure Alice had the same thought thinking about the docks, and I'll just go shit to myself to not say anything else.
When we go back to the docks, Alice can't come back to the boat.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because they don't know necessarily what you look like. So apart from you, Alice. So
and they see me twice potentially.
We'll have to.
We got to get down there first.
It's just worth knowing, isn't it? Better be careful when we get down there in all this.
Okay.
Oh God, I'm so dead.
I think one lone gunman is going to be the least of our concerns, based on the fact that, as best I know, there were quite a few not lone gunmen downstairs in the market causing trouble when we got away.
And with that, I think you're presumably starting to descend.
Are we using the elevator shaft again?
Yep.
So are you? Sorry.
Yeah.
I would hope so, given that it's the only way we're guaranteed not to run into anyone.
Well, last time.
Okay, so you make it past the penthouses, and you, with relatively little trouble, you progress onwards. Sorry, I just need to quickly double check.
Oh God, I just realized I forgot to loot the body of the man I euthanized.
You monster.
I mean, you get a second pass at him if you...
Yeah.
Do I have to? I feel like this is going to increase my wet score, just the fact that Isaac goes to do this.
I mean, you can increase
Alex,
it by...
If you're balking at looting the dead, I think your days in this world are pretty numbered.
It's just the specific context.
Sure.
Okay, well, Isaac, do you loot the body in front of Alice or when she's not there?
Isaac doesn't give less of a shit whether his compatriots see him do it or not.
Okay, then let's just roll and see what you get. 14. So that wasn't great.
So the result
is
you're dead.
No, you get 14 bullets. Fair enough. The guy had quite a lot of bullets on him, apparently.
Sure. Then Isaac will stand up and distribute 3 bullets to everyone.
Cool. Thank you.
He only found
I'm not going to ask where you found them.
No, as in 3 each.
Okay.
And then he will take 5.
Right, it wasn't like you're like going, yeah.
No, and he will take 5 because finders keepers.
That's fair. So you progress. You make it to the elevator shaft at the place where you were kind of forced to progress inwards because the shaft did not go all the way. What do you do?
I can't quite remember how we climbed up. Did we literally just?
I think there's a ladder on the inside we went up.
Is there a ladder?
Yeah, there was like there was a security ladder.
So I'm going to get my climbing harness on.
Oh yeah, we went outside, didn't we?
So we're at the lift shaft now, yeah?
Yes, you are, just in front of the doors. Doors haven't been opened yet.
And well, I have a crowbar, so let me fix that.
Sure.
And then I'll kind of bring Isaac over to some place where I can secure the rope, probably on the inside of the shaft, actually, and kind of literally show him the ropes. Like, that's the knot we're going to tie. I'm going down first. When you're coming down, bring the end of the rope with you. And then...
So is Isaac going first?
No, I'm going first because I'm the climber.
You're going first. Okay.
Isaac would suggest, it's just so it's not me, Isaac would suggest you going last, because the person going last has to be the best climber, because they don't have the rope.
They don't have a rope, yeah.
Surely.
If you're not going to leave the rope.
Okay, I'll pass the climbing harness over to Isaac, who has clearly volunteered. And
I mean, I'm not entirely sure what a climbing harness is, but sure.
So it's like
something that
you wear it over your trousers. It's basically like a really fancy belt that will kind of center your gravity, and it's got a really strong loop on it, which will be tied to one end of the rope, and I will fasten some kind of real shunky belay equipment, like rope friction belay on the other end, and kind of gesture to the hole.
Oh, I see. You're setting up a rope that link. Okay, I know nothing about climbing, so maybe you were right there. Maybe you best. I don't know. It's just in my head. It was like there's going to be a rope, and then there's not going to be a rope for the last person.
Yeah,
so
that
you non-climber come last.
Assuming you're not leaving the rope. That's true, right, Chris?
Yeah, the rope is coming down with me.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right then.
Well, as Isaac peeks his head through the open. Can I actually get a reflex test from you?
Sure, like a nerves test.
Yeah, nerves test. Sorry. Yeah. Correct terminology.
That's a fail.
Okay. When you lean out, you see that on one of those lower floors that previously you could hear a man being tortured on, there is someone who is like looking down and like across, and it has a gun, looks like a guard of some kind, and then looks up, unfortunately, just before you're able to like fully pull yourself back in, and he shouts, "They're using the lifts again. They're using the elevator shaft again." Oh, it's not lift.
Okay.
Elevator.
Sure. Well, obviously Isaac, as soon as he sees him, is going to pull his torso back.
I'm assuming, could we all hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not like the guy. You peek your head back in, so you can't see what they're doing down there. But it doesn't sound like there's like people coming up the elevator shaft for you.
Is that where we are now? Is that the only way out? There's no like doors to the side of the shaft. We could go somewhere else from here, or do we have to go up?
So there's like stairs elsewhere on this floor.
Going down or up, or both?
Going down.
Okay.
That's what you're aware of.
I guess, given I'm reluctant to go back up because we'll just be trapped more, I would gesture towards the stairs.
Wait a sec. Wait. Didn't one of you get a look outside earlier on? Wasn't there aren't there some open windows further down?
Yeah, you can go around that way, but it's not good weather for it. I guess we should hurry.
They're not going to be expecting us to abseil down the outside of the building.
Jesus Christ, this is a terrible idea.
Okay, so there seems to be two proposals of plans. One
Are
to
you
go.
more afraid of a couple of rem of bad water or bullets?
Afraid of slipping off the damn tower.
Fredo, do you think you can do this?
100%, 90%.
The last one of us is going to be scaling down the side of a skyscraper with no rope. Or are we leaving the rope?
I don't think there's
Rope would
time
be-
to wait for one person to go at a time, is there? We've all got to go. Just leave the rope.
Leave the rope to me. I can get the rope back with us. Let's
Yeah.
figure out. Not on the side of the building with the sniper, just a thought. But let's figure out how far we have to drop and if we can do it without getting noticed.
Yeah, how many floors did we come up?
Yes, I should be keeping very close track of this. So the penthouses have been
They were like 63 and 64, right?
Yeah, 63 and 64. The 5-star hotel is the 10 below that, and you've been through there. Or you're currently going through there. So I think you're on like 59 or something like that.
Right, but
58.
how far do we have to go down? Because I'm guessing we don't have 40 floors worth of rope.
We do not.
You don't, although so the corporate offices, which is where the fire hose gang are, is floors 36 to 50. The 5-star hotel, which has like blown out windows and stuff, which is where you currently are, is 51 to 60. So
So we just need to get like, what, 14 floors or 15 around the fire hose gang in theory, but that's still a heck of a long way.
it is a way, although you might find some different entrances that they might not necessarily be expecting. That's like,
I'm guessing we're not a fan of going down the stairs though, right?
Presumably
let me
they're coming
just-
up the stairs, or at least watching them. I think it's
Okay, look, if we're going to go for this, let's just go. We can't hang around.
Let me scope out if we're going to actually be able to do this. Do you remember seeing any openings in the building? Further
Further down.
down, like blown out windows or anything like that?
When I ran around like a maniac, did I see many of them, Pierre?
you did see a fair few. Like the windows in this place, there's not like super consistently, but I think you saw a fair few, and also the rest of you, Isaac, Fredo, and Hank. There was a dark room which had a bear trap in it, where you saw like a big hole in the window with some scaffolding outside. So it looks like there's also some sort of like scaffolding areas which maybe could, like, they look somewhat rickety, but maybe could be like places that you could try and
I'll relay that and
coordinate.
say, yeah, we'll be able to get back in places. There's quite a lot of open windows.
Okay, and you mentioned some scaffolding. What side of the building's that on? Let's go and take a look at it.
That was on the opposite side to the sniper.
Cool. So we'll go and find a place where the windows are kind of blown out, or where we can get a good kind of croon over the side and take a look down. Could we make the scaffolding?
This first, like, you have a look around. The first window, absolutely not. Like, it's just sheer a sheer drop below. But you keep exploring, and you find that there is one sort of opening that's kind of nearly directly over some scaffolding that you could maybe get onto, and looks like it would be within reach of your climbing rope.
Bingo, great stuff. Hank, would you go down first and cover us?
someone's got to go down first.
Yeah.
First is the easy bit. You leave the hard bit to me. First is easy. You'll have the rope, and I'll be belaying you. You'll have the
Okay.
harness
During
as
any
well.
of this, is there any indication, any noise that they're coming up the stairs?
Well, there are quite a few floors below, so you wouldn't expect it for at least, if they were like beelining straight for you, you still wouldn't expect it for at least a few minutes.
I mean, they don't have to necessarily come to us if they're confident that they've got the stairs covered. hopefully aren't looking out the window. They're thinking,
They're
what's
gonna
the
come
point in
down
going to them? And they've got a defensive position.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it if I was the, this guy.
I think, but because you asked that question, Isaac, you can make a brains roll to be like, if you hear anything.
That's a fail.
Okay. Well, you don't hear anything, but yeah, as I say, you might not expect to hear immediate reactions coming up. So at least for the first few minutes, you don't hear anything. So I guess Hank goes down first. It is cold outside, but you're pretty used to this kind of weather. It's not the most severe that you've ever seen, but yeah, it does feel a little bit like it's starting to pick up from earlier.
Just as a thing, I've got like walkie-talkies, so obviously I'll take one and leave one.
Oh, very clever.
Guys at the top. Yeah, just so we can actually still communicate. We're not going to shout over the rain and alert everyone that we're scaling the building.
Yep. Do you say anything? You see, like, actually quite a beautiful view, because you're quite. I mean, assuming you're not scared of heights.
I mean, there's having a healthy appreciation for being very high up without being scared of heights, isn't there? In the pouring radioactive rain.
I feel like we can agree this is a scary situation. You don't have to be afraid of heights to be scared. It's fine.
So, yeah, I don't think Hank's hanging around to. Well, he probably is doing a bit of hanging around to appreciate the view.
Okay, well, you make it. You sort of go down. You occasionally kind of twist away from the building, which is a bit awkward. But then when you twist back, it's fine, and you continue to sort of abseil and kind of handhold your way down. You don't see any people through the windows on your way down, which I suppose is somewhat reassuring. And then you finally make it to the scaffolding, and you kind of like reach out a toe to kind of have to pull yourself into it, but you manage to get onto it. What do the rest of you do? Who's next? Or
I will follow unless someone else, wants to go next.
So I'll have Hank over the radio. I'll ask Hank to tie the climbing harness back onto the rope. We'll bring the climbing harness back up, fit it to Alice, throw her out the window.
And I believe also, so Alice descends mostly the same. You possibly do notice that the Geiger counter is again just ticking a little bit more than you might want.
So these anti-rad pills that I've got, do you take them preemptively or after?
I'm not entirely sure.
You take anti-radiation pills preemptively.
I will take one of those.
Okay,
they will do nothing afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I will take one of those, and I will offer one to Hank where we are. As
if anyone's curious, I'll lightly explain why.
Go for it.
Iodine tablets. Taking iodine, the iodine blocks receptors in your amygdala. I believe that means your brain stem absorbs less radiation. Because the receptors, it's something to do. It's like that, basically.
Okay.
Blocking.
Wow.
Oh, so that's
I think the iodine literally, I think it kind of like puts the gland at like capacity, so it can't take something along those lines.
So okay,
that's why they call it iodining radiation.
Or ionizing, or whatever.
I will offer one to Hank as well if he wants one.
Yeah, I think if someone's offering him free Rad-X, then he'll take it.
I have anti-rad pills in my inventory. I'm going to assume I have enough for a normal amount of use. But if we end up excessively using them, you can call me out. Sure.
So
can't help but notice that Hank was offered one.
It was after we noticed we were in I didn't realize it until we got outside, and I was kind of out
That's
the window by then. I wasn't going to throw one back at you.
Right. It's the reason I thought you were like up at the top, and you were like, right, Hank.
We're all buds together.
No, it was one of
Out we go.
I will
Hank
do
was
the
nice
same.
and asked Alice if she was okay.
Yeah, exactly. Screw you guys. I will tie the harness off and let it back up as are the others.
Okay. And are you guys trying to
will.
get shelter inside, or are you staying on the scaffolding outside? Are you trying to like go around and see if there are any open windows or anything like that, or are you planning to sort of stay put and wait for the others?
How long did it take from leaving the window to get onto the scaffolding?
It took maybe 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, that's enough to find shelter, I think, because we've been waiting for like 20.
Yeah, we want to find.
And I'm assuming we know, if it hasn't been said already, sorry. I'm assuming the two people who've gone down know how many floors they've gone down by counting windows, I'd imagine.
Yep. And yeah.
How long's the rope?
I was also unclear. Yeah, like
It's
I think we're
30
going to sort of vaguely hand wave some of these calculations.
30 meters. Okay.
So yeah, okay. I guess 30 meters is like 3 floors. No, that's way more than that. No, but it
way more than that.
It like depends if you have to have half of it, or like if you can use the full length, or
I think like a typical floor would be between 2 and 3 meters in height, right?
Yeah.
Accounting for the infrastructure between them.
I think I calculated them as being 3 meters. So
okay, for 10 floors then, there or about thereabouts.
Yep. So that would put
you still got a way to go.
Let's say let's say you can get to like, I don't know, I think about 45, floor 45, based on, managing to get down a bit further from where you started.
So we might have to do this. We might have to do this multiple times then.
Or go inside.
Or go inside, yeah.
And now we're near the bit where the actual gang is. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, but they're hopefully looking.
But they're not looking for. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Regardless, Isaac is halfway down by this point, right? So.
Yep. And now the wind is really starting to pick up. It's like buffeting you and getting you kind of slightly misaligned.
Isaac's flowed off to his doom. Oh, what a shame.
No roll, you just die.
Is it harsh enough that you want me to like roll to avoid damage or anything like that?
I think you'll probably accumulate a wet in the process, because it was like a sudden like a swell of water, and you make it down, and as you're pulling up the Isaac's harness, Fredo, you start to hear people coming up the stairs. What do you do?
So I've been planning this. I've found a chair kind of close to me, and I'm basically using the chair as an anchor. So it's kind of going to go over the lip of the window. And now this is the worst possible belay. Rule number 1 about climbing is don't do any of this in any circumstances. But I'm just going to make myself like just a loop to tie off on, so I'll be literally abseiling down as opposed to lowering down. And while these people are coming up the stairs, I'm just going to do it quickly, but I've got the climbing harness. I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm going for it. And once I'm out and kind of out of sight of the window, like I'm just going to kind of just be careful and cautious and not make too much noise and not bounce off any windows, hopefully.
Okay, I think because of the increased like wind and because of the increased wind and rain, I want you to make a lungs roll just to be able to keep it quiet. You're a pretty good climber, but like the conditions are pretty bad and you're trying to be quiet.
Let's go. That's a 38.
We get a 20 bonus from that, though.
Yeah, you
would. Because it's climbing.
Okay, so like the wind buffets you tremendously, and like you think for a second that the chair, like your anchor, is like about to slip, but it like just remains in the right like angle that it doesn't work, and then you very, very gracefully kind of brace yourself against the window so that it doesn't like smash through or cause any damage, and then it's like smoother sailing from then on. Okay, with all 4 of you, so you're now down at the bottom. Do you retrieve the rest of the rope, or
Yeah, I'll try and get the rest of the rope. It's not going to be pretty, but
I think you
And
manage.
for the record, I give Isaac and Fredo an anti-rad pill as well.
Okay,
So I don't get shouted at.
you all get anti-rad pills, and yeah. So so I guess, are you all sort of trying to see if there's anywhere else to go for
Well, I suppose me and Hank at least, or maybe all of us except Fredo, have had a chance to have a look around now. So what do we see from here? Like, we've gone in the building a bit. Is it like abandoned, empty side of building, stairs down sort of thing? Or is it like ruins and we've got to go down?
So I was saying that you were on floor 45. So this looks like, it looks to you like a sort of converted barracks. There's like a sort of a hole in the window that you can, or, you know, just an open sort of gaping thing that you can kind of push aside some kind of furniture that was kind of sort of blocking the window. And it kind of looks like a barracks, but it's obviously not occupied immediately. It is still like an office. It's a converted office. It's got some bunks. If you stick around for long enough, you will see someone run past the door. That's the entryway to this barracks.
Okay, so we're not going that way.
Sure. But yeah, if you wait a few minutes, you'll only see one person. So it's not a highly trafficked area.
I think maybe I'll be like chatting with Hank, like, so this is where they stay, but they're obviously out hunting for us or someone else. Shall we climb down the outside, or do you reckon we can sneak through the belly of the beast, as it were?
I think maybe that is determined by how climbable, I suppose, the rest of it is, and if there's an access point further down, Fredo will know more about that. But hopefully they're all looking up, expecting us to come down from above.
So, Fredo, can I have a brains roll about that? Basically, topic.
Sure.
With that, sorry, what is Fredo's profession? Bank robber.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a +20, right?
Yeah, like Mission Impossible style bank robbing.
Yeah, because bank robbing always involves climbing ropes. That's how modern bank robbers.
Well, he had climbing rope on him.
No. It is. Yeah. It's a post-apocalyptic bank robbing. It does involve ropes.
Also uniquely applicable to this whole story.
That's a success.
Okay, Fredo, you it's not super obvious, but you think that there's like another. You notice that there's another blown out window. Like, there's nothing directly below you, but there is something directly below another blown out window on this floor. So you reckon if you go inside, you might be able to get round and then lower the rest of the way to some fairly safe scaffolding, assuming that room is empty. Does that make sense?
Well, I'll turn up in the room at this point and go, right, okay. They were right behind me, so they're going to be up there. It's not going to take them too long to realize where we've gone. So we have about 2-3 minutes where we can move around this floor reasonably safely.
This is their barracks or something. We've only seen one person go by in like 20 minutes. So I guess they're all chasing us or someone else. Let's just go for it. I think. Hope we don't run into them. So
there's another window, which I like the look of. It's about 20 foot that way and one floor down. Pierre, correct me if I'm wrong there.
It was on the same floor.
Sorry, it's on the same floor. It's about 20 foot that way, 2 doors. Let's go down there, see where we're at, and then we either go outside or we try our luck inside. How's that sound?
I mean, if we've only got a few minutes before we think they're going to start looking for us again, have we got another 20 odd minutes to climb down one by one on the outside?
They don't know where we are yet. They'll only know that we're not where we were.
We may have more time. They may have. If I was them, I would be searching upwards. That will take them a considerable amount of time.
That's a good point.
Regardless, let's look at Fredo's window.
I will quickly glance my head out the door of the barracks to see if there's anyone out there, first of all.
While we're in the barracks, is there anything... no one's left, like, a pile of bullets on their bed or something, But,
This
Yeah,
sounds
just
like
grabbing things that are obvious for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Isaac
so
would love a gun.
There's obviously bedding, but yeah, let's have a look.
Oh yeah, bedding. I haven't had a good bedding in ages. Just come and do me.
Bundled round.
Oh, that's
Is it a
okay.
helicopter? Because that will make everything a lot easier.
There's absolutely a helicopter right there in the middle of the room. No, so no, there aren't any guns, but you do notice that under one of the beds there is a scuba mask, which is a standard one. It has the name Jordan written on it in marker. So yeah.
So by mask, you just mean the goggles, not the whole.
I think it's like the full front.
Everything but the tank, I think.
Yeah.
Everything but the tank and the dry suit.
Yeah, so we need another tank and dry suit, but if we get them, three of us could go down.
I'm assuming that it was Alice who saw that because Sam's the one who asked.
No, I didn't ask. I think it was Jack.
Oh, sorry, Jack. Jack, I guess.
Crawling under the bed. Sorry, Jordan. These are mine now.
Okay, so I think you guys can make it across out into the kind of hallway. You can't hear anything initially. There do seem to be some doors further up that maybe could be the places to go.
Move briskly but cautiously towards the room we think the window's in, I guess.
Okay. Gonna get a nerves roll for how fast, or maybe lungs, actually, this would be.
Mm-hmm. That is a success.
Is that just Alice?
No, that'll be all of you.
I equal my wet score.
I rolled depending on your point of view, the second or third worst number to roll in the game.
Okay.
I don't think we saw it from last time whether 00 is 100 or 0.
No, but
either way, it's 98. So
yeah, I didn't pass.
No, well, you'll do.
Okay, so the two of you that did pass managed to make it to the door, which has the.
I think only Alice.
I think
does equaling your wet count as a fail?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that everyone?
Psychological failure.
I pass.
Yeah. Okay, so Alice is the only one who passes. So Alice, you can make it to that door. The other three of you are kind of slightly more sluggish, and you make it to like one of the doors, like the one that's just one away from where you want to get, when you hear the sound of like some people talking and like approaching, maybe some footsteps. What do you do?
Is there anywhere to conceal ourselves in this corridor?
The room immediately in front of you is probably your best bet. So like the room immediately,
like the door we've moved over to. Yeah.
The door you made it to is open. So maybe there's.
Isaac's going to open it with his non-knife hand.
Isaac opens the door with his non-knife hand, with his perfectly regular human hand. Inside,
it's weird that Pierre and Sam both went there in their minds. Immediately went, "Oh, you mean the knife that is his hand?"
I mean, I was thinking it, to be fair, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
look, we all thought of that. It was
also the way you said non-knife hand, to give this amusing concept in my head that it's normal to have a knife hand, and he's like his weird non-knife hand.
So this room,
nerds.
Yep. This room. Yeah, sorry, we're on 40, 45, so that would be 4. Sorry.
Tower blocks be complicated.
Well, I'm just He's
calculating whether it's 10 or 20 soldiers we're facing.
Yeah. No, it's just one. In inside of the room is a single soldier. He has a belt around his arm, and he looks like he was shooting up.
Hang on, a belt around his arm or a belt for an arm?
Well, he didn't say belt arm, did he?
No, that's
Just a
you're
knife
quite
hand.
right, Jack. That's what makes sense.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
He was shooting up.
yeah.
Oh, shooting up.
yeah,
Okay.
As in, like,
I read
injecting
that as
himself.
shooting up. Okay.
Injecting with some drugs.
I mean, that's one way to
sort of
take it
slumped in a
as
corner.
Yeah.
I said I was the first in the room. Can I have a bit more description of the room and where he is and where I am, like the orientation?
Yeah. So so the room is not very big. It's kind of it maybe was like previously a manager's office or something. It has a nice view out of the tower. The like there's a desk in it. He's kind of sitting slumped, like he's sitting like on a chair next to the desk. He's like looking kind of vacantly to the side. As you enter the room, he kind of like lolled his head towards you. He is like his weapons, like he appeared to have like some sort of rifle that is like propped up against the desk, but it's like not on the same side as him. He doesn't seem immediately to be super angry. Is there anything else you'd like to know about the room? The room kind of smells a bit dusty and
sure, yeah. What's the color? What's the
just the vibe? Feng Shui.
What's the aura?
Yeah. So
the desk is grey.
You said it's quite small, so I'm presumably not far from him.
No.
And you said he's just injected himself with, from what you described, some kind of soporific drug, so like morphine or heroin or something like that. So I'm going to ask, if I act very, very directly and confidently, can I have not so much a combat roll as I'm basically going to try and get an EMT bonus off you by describing myself as not like rah attacking him. I'm going to stride over to him as quickly and quietly as I can and plant my knife into his neck.
Okay.
Not even acting aggressively, so he doesn't just walk directly over to him and.
I love Chris's mute outrage.
I was just going to think we hit him with a rifle butt or something. But,
so I think Isaac's the first one in the room, so Isaac does get the first response.
If you club him, he'll make a noise. Like, this is the only way that he doesn't make a noise.
I agree. I think it's sensible.
Yeah, we're not discussing this in character. Isaac's just doing this, I imagine.
I'm trying to think of whether this would be. I'm trying to think whether this would be lungs or nerves, because it's kind of like trying to act very quickly. I think nerves, I guess.
So maybe nerves.
Although it's melee,
it's not combat. Could I get? So it's nerves because it's not combat, but could I get the EMT bonus?
Yes.
For knowing where to go.
Yeah, and also
it's not going to fly back, right? So
acting under pressure as well, element of it.
Sure,
and also for like clocking that he. Yeah, for clocking that he might well be a bit out of it, and therefore this is like even possible. Go ahead, roll me nerves.
This isn't the light-hearted romp I was promised.
This is interesting. So my target was 63. I rolled 64.
Oh
no.
Okay. So I think what happens is he like turns to look at you and then like looks back and then like turns again and is like, and then like as you're trying to run at him, I think it's now going to be some combat.
Okay.
So
but could I make a combat roll like before he shouts. Is that possible?
Well, you are aware rather than surprised, which is not supposed.
Yeah,
He
sort of goes, "Ugh," but he doesn't like. He's not making like a lot of noise. Like he is a bit out of it. This was not a good time to be attacked. So
that's what he says when you walk in.
Well, that's the sense you get off his face. It's
not
like
a good
this
time to be attacked right now.
He was happy. Yeah, so let's do some combat.
Just a regular old lungs roll for me then, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm just trying.
So you don't get bonuses from weapons or anything, do you?
Why do I feel like this is just going to be the slowest, messiest combat in this situation?
So yeah, you're using a melee weapon. I think he's just sort of trying to improvise, like grabbing a lamp that's next to him and like hitting you with it. Like that's basically what he's doing. I think actually you still have him surprised, so you're going to go first.
Yeah, I would imagine I have the initiative.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
So
okay. But I can't claim a medical bonus for combat. That would just be silly.
No,
so.
I don't believe so. So it's lungs.
I do though.
Mm-hmm.
I hit him,
mm-hmm.
and I just grazed his upper torso.
You grazed his upper torso. So I guess that is like he was kind of alarmed and pushed back in his chair, and so like. As you're slashing, you only manage to graze him, but he's like bleeding a bit. And when that happens, he does kind of like yell out a bit. He's like, "Ugh," because he's hurt, like it's pain. Then he's going to try and hit you. He rolled a 49, which is a miss. So he's kind of like flailing backwards, and he swings his thing, but he's just misjudges the distance. The rest of you, apart from Alice, can also like you saw this whole thing happening, so you're kind of involved in this. I guess either of you, what do you do?
I think I'm not going to shoot him because that's massively loud. So yeah, I'll go with.
He did just yell out. It is.
I mean, a gunshot's a hell of a lot louder than a yell, though, unless he's got
true.
a set of lungs on him, which.
Yeah, and he still wasn't like. He was more shocked than he was like, trying to alert somebody or something.
So yeah, essentially use the rifle as a club and crack him one because
that might just be his customary heroin yell.
I always yell when I shoot up. It's
they're like, oh, it's him yelling again, walking by.
Okay, so you try and cross the room, roll your lungs.
Yeah, no, I failed. I'm really bad at rolling dice.
Although he did actually get he got hit, so he actually increases his wet by a reasonable amount. Did you hit
Sorry, yeah, his wet I should have said his wet should increase by 7.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's the higher of your two rolls, right?
Good. Yeah. So
I think. Yeah, add wet equal to units. Oh, sorry, units or tens die divided by 5, whichever is higher. So it's 4. 4 wet he should increase by.
Okay. Oh God. Yep.
Again,
Hank missed. Okay, he's going to like sort of throw the lamp that he's got at you, Hank. And then he's going to try and grab the syringe.
Does Fredo not get can Fredo not act?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Fredo, what are you up to?
So Fredo probably has the wherewithal to kind of get into the room and close the door. But is also just after a wet failure. So it's probably just it's going to be just like, is not sure any of this is real at the minute. Like there's something about actual combat is just a little bit, has kind of just put him into a bit of a stupor. So he's just going to stand there and kind of gawp, for want of a better word.
Okay. So as you're sort of gawping, a lamp clatters into the wall next to you. It was clearly aimed at Hank. and the guy is going to, as I said, grab the syringe and try to go for Isaac, I think, because that's the one with the knife. And he fails at that.
With a syringe. Like a normal size syringe. Good luck.
I don't know. Maybe like he's not thinking straight and he just threw the lamp. Either way,
Isaac's injected himself with things so many times. He's not scared of a syringe.
So the guy kind of like sort of slurredly tries to like stab at you with this thing, and it's just not doing anything.
I'm going to try and fuck him up again.
Sure.
Sooner or later, one of it, like, it's just dog pile a guy.
Yeah, I mean, is that actually the strategy that you guys are using? Are you trying to like just like you and Hank trying to like just push him down and then just
I'm going to hiss at the others to grab him
because it is 3-on-1. So
yeah, but I'm assuming that I will. Like, is there an initiative? I don't know. Like, do I?
There is an initiative.
Or
so yeah, you roll your dice and let me know how it goes.
How is this going to go? It's going to be a bad miss.
Okay, so you try to stab him, but he kind of slithers out of the way. He's really afraid. He's like, "Please don't." Hank, I guess it's your turn.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for a grabbing him. Sort of, if he's got this syringe, needle still in his hand, obviously. Grab, the wrist of that hand so he can't stop stabbing me with it. And then, try and get him to the ground.
Okay, roll lungs.
Yeah, why did I pick the thing that I'm the worst at? And I mean, anything would have. Do you reckon Hank tackled a lot of children in his job?
Probably not.
Probably not. Because
what's the overall thing though? Because obviously it's janitor, but what's the overall category?
Service. It's a very specific kind of service.
Yeah, I don't think you'd have necessarily any specialty in like holding a person down.
No, that's fair. So no, I didn't pass.
Okay, you kind of you try and grab him, but in the end you sort of like more kind of tackle him a bit, and he kind of bounces back and into the wall behind him, so you don't quite manage to get him down. He then looks down at the rifle that is on the other side of the desk, and he kind of lunges for it. Fredo, what do you do?
Can I just ask, is he getting an action for every one of our actions?
He's sort of. He's not actually rolling the combat dice for each one of your actions. I am just narrating this.
Hank, can I give him a bonk with my trusty crowbar?
What, Hank?
No, the assailant, the guy going for the rifle.
Hank, you failed me one too many times.
I love it.
Fredo,
he says it in a kind of evil sorcerer voice.
Fredo dejectedly executes every other member of the team. Yeah, you can try. Again,
you failed me for the last time, janitor.
That is a success with a 7.
Oof. Okay, so a 7 means
it's the same as I rolled. It's a grazed torso.
Grazed torso. Okay. Well, I'm going to say that that's more like if you're hitting him with like a crowbar, right? He lunges for this this rifle, and he's like running forward, and you just smack him, and he's kind of like, I'm just going to say he's like winded by the fact that, like, because there isn't like a result that is winded, but it's kind of mild injury, but not actually he's dead. And what was the unit's die was 0?
It'll be 4 wet again.
Will it?
4.
Oh, because it's 7.
No, it's the highest of the 2, and 7 is 7 and 8, so it's 4 wet.
Okay. So yeah, 4 wet. Okay, well he's like looking like he doesn't want to fight as much. He's looking a bit like he doesn't think he can make it, but he's a bit desperate because he thinks he's about to be killed.
Is he? So he's face down on the floor and winded, right?
Yeah.
So for my action, could I take another one of those the first thing I did? Like, is it reasonable for me to just kneel on his back and do
just try and
rather than a combat attack, you know?
Yeah. He doesn't actually seem able to fight back. Yeah.
Right. So can I take my EMT thing again?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see.
Knowing where the jugular is.
Yeah. I was thinking more like that I know where to hit someone and just make them like not be able to.
Before you roll this, are you intending to kill or like knock him out?
I'm absolutely attempting to kill him.
Okay.
I'm going to plunge. My knife is like a combat knife, like an old like Vietnam sort of thing. I'm absolutely intending to kneel on his back and plunge my knife into the side of his neck and sever his windpipe. And
it's not a friendly stabbing.
No, he'll be, No.
Okay. So he like you sort of like knee him in the back, and I think you still knock him prone. Like there's no way that you're not like he's I can't think of a reason that he would be able to suddenly get up and be fine.
Yeah.
But maybe
he's like scrabbling and I can't get.
Yeah, he's scrabbling and you can't quite or you stab and it's like he was actually wearing some amount of armor or something that makes the blow not land home properly or scrub off. And he's kind of, and at this point he does yell out like help.
Right.
Quite loudly. Alice, you hear this. And then I guess. What do you guys do? Are you intending to, at this point, now that he's yelled, are you like, we've got to kill him, or what's the overall group?
I mean, I don't think we had a problem about killing him before.
I didn't have a problem, but he's yelled the cat's out of the bag. If he's not going to fight us, then there's no point in taking his life.
Matt, you're good.
No, that's fine.
Hello?
Yeah, no, I could hear him.
Okay, well, my internet just died during Matt explaining what he was doing. So, Matt,
that was weird. You were perfectly clear.
Isaac's point of view is that he was killing him because he was going to yell. Now that he's yelled, if he's not actively going to fight back, and he seems fucked, he's not going to fight back. He's like he seems to have given up, basically, right? Or be knackered enough that he's not fighting back. Isaac sees no value in killing him, so. Isaac's probably not going to kill him unless he makes him now. So that's Isaac's point of view. What's the window looking like?
The window behind you. It doesn't look super reinforced. Like you can see the rain outside of it.
Like, did Fredo pick this one because there was scaffolding outside?
There's scaffolding outside the next room over.
And how far is that distance?
You could probably drag him fairly quickly, especially if multiple of you helped. Oh, are you trying to?
I don't care about that.
I thought you were thinking about throwing him out of the building.
No. Okay. Jesus.
Yeah. Like, I was like, where's Matt going with this? Okay.
Isaac's not that much of a monster. Well, now he has yelled, so there is no point in sullying my blade. I shall simply cast him from the tower. Like, no, I just want to know if I can leap over to the scaffolding, right?
Thank you for clarifying. Very valuable. You could just run to the room with the scaffolding.
But the people with guns might be out there.
Yep, they might well be.
Responding to a yell. That's my thinking.
Yep. I guess, but what are you guys doing?
Well, I think as the guy's yelling, obviously Hank's blood's sort of up now, so he's going to
hit him
with the rifle and be like, "Shut up!" and go to hit him in the face with the rifle. You know.
Yeah.
He's not as calm under pressure as Isaac seems to be. work out. Okay, we're not killing this dude or anything. You know,
Hank's blood's up. What can you say?
Yeah.
So I think that's a combat, another combat roll.
Yeah. 17.
Okay, so that is punctured upper torso. So I
cracked rib.
I guess you
I
guess you crack a rib and he like he sort of makes a kind of
that's gonna knock the wind out of him.
Yeah, and he starts like breathing in a way that suggests that like he really doesn't want to breathe very much because it hurts a lot. And he is like now like I'll be quiet. But he has obviously already yelled. At this point, Fredo?
Yeah, I'd like an action if that's okay, and I'm going to take my action to ready the rifle.
Your own rifle.
Yes, expecting someone to burst through that door at any minute. I'm just going to get into the corner near the door, shoulder the rifle, and be very ready for what's coming.
I'm out of curiosity, I'm probably by the door of the room that we were aiming for, watching.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I mean, they might dash in here, hoping they don't dash in here, but assuming they're going to go to the other room, what do I see?
So Alice, after hearing a bunch of commotion, a yell, a bunch of like struggling, you saw the a group of people who didn't look like they were part of the fire hose gang, running past, like they weren't wearing the kind of the various like insignia as far as you could tell. One of them was sort of muttering like, "Oh, how many floors before the penthouses?" He said it'll be in the penthouses. And they kind of continue onwards. And they don't, and like after the yell, you might expect them to run back because they probably would have heard it, but they didn't.
In that case, we know what's coming. Another good old, I'm going to go and run myself into a situation when they're going to try and kill me. I'm going to sneak round and push the door open. Probably conscious that they might expect someone to come through the door who is going to try and kill them, to be fair.
Isaac's probably still got his knee on this guy's back, so you're probably fine as far as Isaac face knife. Isaac, good old Isaac face knife.
To be fair, Isaac's not actually managed to stab anyone yet.
No, he hasn't. He's appalling failure at it.
I did get a scratch face, so I think I have been technically very slightly stabbed. That was from Isaac.
What's an appropriate role to decide whether or not I open fire with an automatic rifle on one of the player characters?
I knew you would be doing it this time, so I pushed the door with my arm and go, "Guys, it's me. There's no one here. Let's go."
Yeah.
But you can shoot if you want, but I'm still not in the way of the shot.
You hear Alice, Fredo, how many bullets?
At least half the clip. No, but seriously,
you hear Alice and you flick the switch from semi to fully auto.
God,
I love how the story rolls around us all trying to kill each other. Apparently,
everything's fine. Let's go.
Yep.
I will. The second that I meet with the rest of you, and I'm just like, I will say. There was other people here, like they were trying to get up to the penthouse. They weren't from this gang. I don't know who they were, but it sounded like they might be trying to get this helicopter as well.
That's fine.
This is while rushing
between us and the gang, then look, they might think it's us, or they might think that they're us.
We'll bundle into the other room.
While they're having this discussion and starting to move, Isaac is going to hold back a little bit. He's definitely going to pick up the guy's gun. And I'll it'd be handy to know how many bullets there is for that. He's going to do an extremely quick ocular pat down of the guy to see if he's got any more of the stuff he was injecting himself with.
That's a good point. He does. It looks like he didn't actually have more syringes, but yeah, you recover a kind of powdery substance that you expect to be melted or something.
An opioid. Yeah. That's a packet of opioid.
Yeah.
And is the gun a rifle? Did you say
the gun? Yeah, I think I said it was a rifle.
How many bullets?
The number of bullets was 17.
Okay. And as he grabs these things, he's going to look down at the guy on the floor and say, try not to move, at least until you steady your breath.
And
don't push yourself. Don't push yourself, or you could puncture a lung.
Don't kill me.
Isaac wrinkles his brow as if the man is being foolishly emotional, and stands up and to follow the others.
You leave, and the man kind of is like, yeah, it doesn't make any further noise, but maybe you hear like a laughing or a crying or something, or like, yeah, he's having an emotional time. He nearly died.
Sure.
So you guys make it out.
Isaac can imagine that for other people that might be. That does seem to be a reaction that people have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So I'm going to say that you make it out of the window. I think that the rain has gotten a bit heavier, so as you descend, it is like gain 1 wet, basically. Anyone who is descending, but other than that, you see the occasional person, but it doesn't seem like they're paying that much attention to the outside of the building.
Are they obviously dressed up like they're from the gang, or are we seeing more non-gang people?
You've now started to see some gang people. If you're paying particularly close attention, you'll notice that while there are a couple that seem to be running in the direction of the people who ran past you, right, like going upwards, the majority of people that you see, like you only see like 4 or 5 or something in as you're descending, and you only catch glimpses, but they all seem to be running down rather than up. And they seem to be in a hurry. They seem to like, yeah.
Okay. So I will generally be, interested because of what I heard in the hallway up above anyway, and just be like trying to figure this out, and probably just say something like, everyone's going down gang, and others, it looks like. I don't know what's going on.
It's just gang that you see.
Okay, just gang. I do just see gang. Okay. Yeah.
You don't see others going down. You only saw those 3 people going up.
You think there could be something else going on at the docks, or it can't all be because we're heading down. They know we're. I hope not. But anyway, there's others that got to be hunting because there were those folks just back there.
You, Hank, you hear this through the radio. I assume that Alice is communicating this.
That sounds.
What do you do?
Sorry, what was I was
Alice has just said that like there are some people going down. There are like some fire hose gang members going down. But this is what is communicated via the radio up to you.
And I'm wondering if it's the docks or us.
If there's something at the docks going on. Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing me and the other guys are, you can all hear that on the radio.
Okay. I think if you guys don't do anything in particular, just to take one wet for like for this further descent. But I think now you are past the fire hose gang headquarter levels, so you're now you manage to make it, and you start to be like you could potentially blend in with the people around here. These are just the apartments that were, below the corporate offices where the fire hose gang operates.
As soon as I'm down here, I'm looking to see if there's any sign of a disturbance that all the gang will be heading down to deal with, or nothing at all unusual.
Yeah, you see a there seems to be some shouts that you hear, some like smashing bottles and stuff. And as you sort of progress through the apartments, you can see kind of there's like a density of crowd starting to build, and they seem to be like shouting or something or throwing stuff. And there's a bunch of fire hose gang members trying to like hold them back. one of them brings down like there's like two people who bring a fire hose, and they start spraying it on the crowd to like push them back, and like there's a reason they're called the fire hose gang.
Well, this is a useful distraction. Just
I just got it.
Yeah, sophisticated. So there's like this kind of chaos / riot going on, maybe. What do you guys do?
Isaac is, as always, just going to look at Fredo to see if he thinks we should carry on climbing. Sorry, you said it was one wet there. Is that in addition to the wet you said a few minutes ago, or is it the same wet?
It was
the same wet, Pierre.
It is, I believe, the same wet.
Okay. You've got one wet getting from that out bit.
Getting from this bit.
Yeah.
That bit's coming.
Let's get into shelter and have a think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking if we have a chance to, I don't think we would buy anything with a riot going on, but scrounge or find. If we could find another dry suit and scuba tank, 3 of us could go down rather than 2 with that mask.
Let's have this conversation when we're not in the radioactive rain. Yeah.
Yep, you guys can get into the various apartment things, the shanty town that is this area. Are you heading down to the docks as best you can, or are you staying around trying to like get some composure?
I think Fredo's just going to once we're out of the rain, Fredo's just going to sit down for a minute, making it abundantly clear that it's break time.
Yeah. Okay. So
like so maybe we found our way into an apartment, like somewhere that's reasonably secure, and Fredo's just going to, if there's not someone running around pointing a gun at Fredo's sitting down, having a drink and a wee think.
Yeah. Okay, so Fredo is resting. Are the rest of you also doing this?
Yeah, I think Hank's lighting up a cigarette and just I think taking a breather.
I will relax while also just kind of keeping an eye on the crowd and passively trying to figure out why the riot might be going on.
Sure.
Right.
And
so what vantage do we have that we can relax in an apartment while watching the riot?
You can't all do this. So Fredo can relax in the apartment. Alice would have to go and explore to see the
Alice will be told that she has to stop and sit down for 5 goddamn minutes.
I will ignore you and have a quick look at the riot to make sure they're not about to come and murder us before I return.
Isaac thinks this is madness.
Yeah.
To just take a break in the middle of the main distraction that could lead to our actual lives. And he's going to urge everyone to take advantage of the fact that they're not looking for us and get to the docks.
I am
Fredo will proffer you a half-supped beaker of water from his supplies.
Okay, so it sounds like Fredo is going to stay here for a bit. Hank, are you staying with Fredo, or are you? It sounds like they're splitting. Some people are wanting to go to the docks, and some people are.
Well, Hank will say, we shouldn't split up. That's.
We have just dropped 20 floors, nearly killed a man, nearly been killed ourselves. I'm sorry, I can't go on. Just 5 minutes, for the love of Christ. If we can't rest, then what's the point in living? 5 goddamn minutes. It's chaos out there. It's bedlam. The top half of the tower is fighting the middle half of the tower, which is also fighting the bottom half of the tower. We can take 5 minutes to think. Christ.
Okay.
Isaac is going to see how the other two react to this. Again, from his point of view, absolutely insane statement.
Alice is already checking out the riot.
Okay.
Okay, so Alice is heading off. Isaac, are you heading off also? Or...
Isaac is going to wait and see what Hank is going to do.
I'll Isaac to take one of the walkie-talkies and we'll catch him up. Yeah. Yeah. Hank realizes it's a case of it's an immovable object against an unstoppable force almost. Neither's going to see eye to eye. We're going to spend more time arguing about it. Let's just do that.
Okay. Isaac will look at you emotionlessly for a few heartbeats, take the walkie-talkie off you, walk out of the door, catch up to Alice and say, we might only need 2 scuba suits.
If it's just 5 minutes, it's worth waiting to figure out a plan anyway. It'll take us a bit of time to find a place to dive. I want to find out what this distraction is going to give us for a second first, if it's dangerous and if we can rely on it.
Okay, so Isaac and Alice approach the sort of largest clamour as Fredo and Hank try to regain a bit of composure and morale. And I think we're probably going to end it there. I think that obviously I could have given you some sort of dramatic thing, but I think probably the next bit is going to
keep rolling.
Dramatic enough. I think we've split the party again is probably dramatic enough.
Yeah. On
We've got walkie-talkies, it'll be fine.
Yeah, you got walkie-talkies. What can go wrong? But yeah, so this has been The Big Wet. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the chat. But yeah, meanwhile, I guess promo again, or
yeah.
Check out our Discord.
Check out our Discord. That's the promo. First off, thank you to 42 for your resub. Always appreciated. As you said, lucky 19 months. Thank you so much. Promo, check below for links. YouTube and Twitch are our main sites. You'll also find links to, as Pierre said, our Discord, also our Patreon, our merch store, our social media, stuff like that. We run 3 weekly games at the moment. Mondays is Warhammer, which Sam down there runs. Wednesdays is Simbroom, which Matt here runs. And then Thursday alternates between this, Big Wet, and Wicked Ones, Sam. Are kind of rotating on a fortnightly basis. We also try and run monthly one-shots. The next one of those is Saturday, the 27th of January, which will be Troika. It's the second time we played Troika. It's going to be the first time, we're going to have more Troika coming out later this year. And there's a very specific reason for that, which, as I keep saying, we're not telling you yet. But it's quite exciting. So keep your Troika hats on. That's not a phrase. Yeah, but in the meantime, how about we have some comments? So Night Bites. I misread Chris's character name. I thought it said Frodo for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is secretly a retelling of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm now a character in the game.
Yeah. Fredo and Sam says don't kick food. I volunteered to be Fatty Bolger. And then don't kick food christened me Matty Bolger.
No.
The end for you.
Yeah, perfect. Also,
that's the kind of thing I'd literally take days off school to avoid.
And just obviously I'm deeply wounded, but also I would say that I would just want everyone to be perfectly aware that A, I have control of the banhammer, and B, the only way anyone is ever allowed to call me Matty is if I really fancy them.
Well, I remember that, Matty.
You just signed your own warrant. Okay. John says, if you want an anti-radiation pill, you can climb down into the radiation rain to get it. And don't kick food. Don't Kick Food replied with something very funny, but also absolutely personally PTSD inducing of you have to prove you need it and that you're looking for work.
Too real.
No.
Too real. Yeah, that's what we got.
Oh, by the way, I looked up the anti-rad pill iodine thing. It's the thyroid apparently, and it is the
thyroid, not the
iodine radiation is one of the primary forms of radiation that's released when there's a radioactive incident. And if you take a non-radioactive iodine, you can't.
The thyroid is full of iodine, so you
exactly.
So you can't absorb.
Yeah, that's how it works.
But yeah, yeah. Thyroid, not amygdala. That makes
the rest of your body is going to get it. The thyroid.
We are
but the thyroid distributes. Like the problem is if your thyroid fills up with the wrong kind of radiation, like it will distribute it right around your limbic system.
It's partly hormonal effects. It's also just that thyroid is very prone to cancer, which is one of the main things.
Right,
it's going to be a problem.
Sure.
But also, don't take your medical advice from us.
Yeah.
Don't go to Chernobyl.
Sure. I think taking iodine will attempt to keep you safe from the long-term effects of ionizing radiation, but it will not prevent things like it unfurling your DNA.
Exactly. Nothing will do.
So real talk here. If you're taking medical advice concerning exposure to ionizing radiation from a bunch of neckbeards on the internet, please leave a comment and just tell us the track in your life that brought you here, because I really want to read that.
I, of course, as anyone would, went to an actual play on Twitch to find out what I should do about all these pains in my body since I went to Pripyat. Amazing.
Oh,
anyway, that's
it.
42 says so many literal neckbeards. I don't know if he means like the like you'd grow additional neckbeards if you had were mutated by radiation. I go to I'll have you know I go to extreme lengths to make sure this isn't a neckbeard. I could lift it up and show you the shaved area underneath.
I would never have gone to somehow getting additional neckbeards from radiation. That was such a stretch.
Yeah, knife hands.
Yeah, knife hands.
Yeah, knife hands.
I have no problem with this nickname.
It's better than neckbeard for sure.
It's better than Matty Bolger anyway.
It's better than Matty.
True.
Well, that is not my nickname. I would like to establish that. But unlike the other elements, otherwise all the other times that people have decided to group mock me on the channel, the buffet thing, Berimo, all the other Simbaroom memes, I will be coming down like the wrath of God on any, like, as soon as this stream is over,
wrath of God,
the amnesty is over. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Amazing. I'll have to check out the next Simbaroom stream then.
Yeah. All right. Are we? I think we're done.
I think we are. Farewell, you lovely people.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.